Hi, and welcome to the 3 online marketing keys to implement immediately for 2018 success. Now, I'm just going to make sure that everything is set up here correctly. Let's just have a look. I think you can hear me, so that's all fine. Just make sure my audio is working. And it is, so that's excellent. And everyone else's microphones and everything's off, so that's great. So we might dive straight into it this morning. So if I can just move my screen so I can see it a little bit better, that would be great. So let me know in the chat if you can't hear or see anything in particular as we go through. Let me know, and of course, if you've got questions, I will answer those at the end, but feel free to pop them into the chat in the meantime. But today I just want you to feel relaxed, open to learning some new strategies, and of course I want to give you a bit of a peek into what's working for me and for my clients right now. Now, because I completely get that you've likely tried lots and lots of different strategies in the past, and you probably found yourself either failing at them or maybe even burning out, but it's not really your fault. And I guess when we think about it, there's a lot of information out there and it can be confusing. And many times this information overload, I guess, keeps us from success. So I'm all about simplicity. Now, if you've been concerned before that you just can't get your ideal client to your website and turn them into clients, then I want to put those fears to rest. You can do this. You just need to be led, of course, in the right direction. Now, one thing that I do want to share is that the internet marketing crowd, they want you to think that you can use the latest marketing fad or a fancy piece of software to be successful. Now, for me, that's not quite right. I followed the bright, shiny object path for a long time, buying every new tool and digital program or following fads. And what I realized is that it doesn't work. The platform can fall over, and I'm thinking of things like Blab, for anyone who remembers Blab, which was a video tool. Only 4% of people ever finish digital programs because they don't have that accountability built into them. So I see them as not being great avenues to go down either. And we can often get tied up with paying a fortune for tools that we end up not using. And I'm not sure if that's you, that you've bought lots of tools and haven't actually used them. Which is why my approach is to look at timeless, evergreen strategies that will not only give you results now, but also long into the future too. Now, I really care about getting as many female entrepreneurs with service and coaching-based businesses automating their businesses so that they can scale it for greater revenue and reach more people with their message. So that's what this workshop is about today. It's part of me delivering on that mission, and it's about getting your message spread further without, of course, burning out. So during the workshop today, I'm just going to make sure that I am recording. We are perfect. Excellent. So what we're going to look at today, going forward, the one task you're avoiding that is key to scaling your business fast in 2018. How you're targeting the wrong people, plus steps to rectify it for cheaper quality leads now. And the last one is the planning tool to shift from a scattered approach to a consistent marketing and leads system. Now, just quickly to give you a bit of an overview of how I've come to where I am now. I was an author, a speaker and a coach, and I spent 16 years as a journalist, and I really stepped into where I am now by accident. So while I was a journalist, I had a column that I wrote about being pregnant and all the disgusting things that can happen to your body. It was very comedic. Well, I thought so anyway. And when I had my second daughter, I was asked about that column a lot. So I decided while I had time on my hands, I'd start this thing called a mum blog. And to be honest, I had no idea what that really was. So from that blog, I was asked to help businesses with their PR. But while, I guess after a few years of running that PR agency, I burnt out. I was trying to balance running the business with staff and marketing to consistently attract those new clients, and it was overwhelming, and I was just exhausted, and I couldn't see an end to this cycle. It felt like it was just going to go on forever. and there was no light at the end of the tunnel. So I looked at how I could get smarter with my marketing so I could leverage my time. And this is where I stumbled across the power of what I call client pathways, or a soulful sales funnel. And the idea is that it moves your most aligned clients from discovering who you are on Facebook or your blog, for example, through to nurturing and building the relationship via an email marketing system, and then of course inviting them to work with you. This is how I arrived at this point, empowering entrepreneurs to build, to use storytelling, strategy and systems to leverage your business, and of course build soulful client pathways that work on autopilot to free you up to focus, of course, on what you do best. Now I'm just going to make sure that there's some microphones here that we're muting, so we haven't got any of the background noise, so that's all good. Done. So I don't know if you can relate to some of this. I guess maybe you're spending hours on Facebook posting content, but it's not amounting to any email subscribers or to clients. Or you could be blogging, but no one's actually coming across and actually reading your blog posts. So for many, constantly driving traffic to their website burns them out, and it can be tiring and disheartening sometimes. So traditionally what happens is that people just throw darts at the marketing map and hope something sticks. But what you need to do is create a holistic approach and set up a system that will work for you rather than you working for it. And this is what I want to teach you today, because you can really systemize so much of your business so you can focus on the things that matter to you, the things that light you up, like, of course, serving your clients. So let's dive in to the first part of our three-part workshop today. And the first one is the one task you're avoiding that is key to scaling your business fast in 2018. Now, what I've identified, having worked with many female entrepreneurs, is that women aren't particularly good at looking at the metrics. Now, let's be honest, it's not sexy. I'm a words person. I'm not a numbers person, so I completely get this. But if you know your numbers from 2017, which is as simple as looking at your Google Analytics versus your email marketing versus your sales analytics, you uncover where you need to pull back because maybe it's not quite working for you, and what you need to leverage because it's where the vast majority of clients are coming from. So Google Analytics, obviously we can look at traffic sources, we can look at the pages they've visited, the clicks they've made. In our email marketing analytics, we can look at our email growth. How many email subscribers are we getting on a weekly and a monthly basis? And of course, in our sales analytics, we can be looking at, obviously, sales growth. So don't bury your head in the sand on this one. I'd highly encourage you to set up opt-in and sales goals in Google Analytics if you know how to do it, so you know exactly which traffic sources are providing you with opt-ins and sales, which pages are most lucrative on your blog or on your website, and what are the demographics of those buyers. You can find all that information. As you can see in this screenshot, I can find out for this particular product, which should say 2017, but I duplicated something for last year, but it's telling me that they're coming, two in this particular period came directly to my website and bought. So maybe they had a direct link from something. Two came from Google, so I know that my blogging is working. And one came from Facebook, so I know I need to be doing more Facebook. So this, once you set up goals in Google Analytics, you can get really really dive deep into more analytics. You can find out that 90% of them were female. They're of a particular age group, all those sorts of things. There's a lot that you can be doing. So it can really help you when you're looking at what you need to be leveraging and what you need to pull back on. So as I said, don't bury your head in the sand on this one. Often what I've discovered is that women are focusing 80% of their efforts on the part of their business that generates 20% of their income. So think about that. 80% of the effort you're putting in is generating the 20% of the income that you get. The key is to flip it and put most of your effort, 80% of your effort, into the part of your business that's generating 80% of your income. Let the 20% just happen automatically and put all your focus back in where your actual income comes in. We're in business to make money. We're in business to help people, of course, to share our passions and our skills and all those sorts of things. But ultimately, we also need to be able to make money. Otherwise, we have a hobby, technically. So an example for me was a business owner. She was neglecting the coaching side of her business, which was generating really healthy income for her when she gained those clients. It had consistent income because they'd last for 3 to 4 months for her. But instead of focusing on that area of her business and increasing that, she instead focused on a $300 e-course that she'd only ever sold one of previously. And she was now putting masses and masses of effort into trying to launch it again, and it was taking up all her time. Again, she was getting into that burnout stage that we talked about earlier. Yet her business really needed to bring in more income now. So I don't have anything against doing e-courses. You'll see I have plenty of online trainings and products, but I'm not putting all my effort there when your list is small and your income needs are greater than what an e-course can provide. And yes, I've done launches for people for e-courses where their list, one particular client, her list was super small, but she ended up generating $50,000 in sales in 2 weeks when we did her launch. But there were other factors there. So you need to look at your big picture first and get really strategic about what your core offer is and how you're attracting people to it. How many of those core offers do you need to sell to reach your goal, your income goal? The same applies if you have a product and a service-based business. If you have a business that does both product and service, where the margins on the product tend to be much, much lower than on the service, ensuring that you're focusing on the right areas. Now, the other example that I want to give you was a client who was putting masses of effort into Twitter. But when we looked at her analytics in Google Analytics, her sales were coming from Google, so her blogging and her SEO, and from Facebook. Now, the sharing of her blogs on Twitter certainly aided in her blogs ranking higher in Google because Google loves social media shares on your blog posts. But the effort she was putting into Twitter was providing zero return. So we knew that we had to pull back on what she was doing on Twitter and increase what we were doing with blogging and Facebook, which I guess brings me to how you can be setting yourself up now for a really strong 2018. So your action for today is to dig a little deeper into your Google Analytics. Click around, have a look on different sections in your Google Analytics and find out where are your traffic coming from. Take note of it and see where the opportunities lie for you. And if you have no idea how to do this step, stay tuned because I do want to help you with this step soon. But how could you be attracting more of that traffic? Your website, I guess, is like your shop front. So the more people who come in and browse in your shop, the higher the chance of sales. So think about your website in those sorts of terms. And then, of course, we want to dig even deeper again, as I mentioned before, and look at the pages that they're looking at. Are there some pages on your site that seem to be particularly popular? How could you be leveraging those pages so they achieve more for your business? So, for example, if you have a really, really popular, and also how can you be leveraging those pages so they achieve more for your business, and of course lead people somewhere. So what is the call to action? So an example, as you see on the screen, if you have a really popular blog post, now this one I think I published about a month or 2 months ago, has 725 social media shares. Now take a look at the blog post and see what your call to action is on your blog post that might be really popular. Are you asking them to opt into your list, as I've done here? Have a discovery call or a sales call, depending on your terminology, to see whether or not you're a good fit to work together. Maybe you want to get them to watch a video or join a webinar. Think really strategic about the most popular pages on your website and what the next step is that people can be taking that moves them closer to becoming a client. Now, when we look at the stats, we get more strategic and we stop spinning our wheels with our marketing, just hoping for the best. As we saw earlier with that map and the darts and just hope, throwing a dart and hoping it lands somewhere. When someone starts working with me, they get a full audit of these elements, and we set up the goals. You need to start properly tracking. So that's the first part of today. I want you to really start diving into the analytics. As I said, it's not sexy, but it is. It can open some amazing doors so you have a much better 2008. Now, part 2 today is how you're targeting the wrong people, plus, of course, steps to rectify it for some cheaper quality leads now. Now, at some point in our business journey, we have to step up from doing organic marketing, so that is sharing on Facebook and Twitter and writing blogs and those sorts of things, and we have to layer it with paid traffic. And what this does is it increases the volume of clients that you'll attract, and it decreases the time it takes to accumulate clients. But the big danger they see is twofold. So firstly, you're not clear on who your ideal client is. So you're targeting all the wrong people with the wrong message, and it can cost you dearly in time. And of course, if you're doing Facebook ads, it can cost you in money. Now, I spoke with a client this week who's having an increase in clients suddenly since we started working together. Now, what she's identified is that they're actually doing similar marketing activities to what they were doing before. But it's the language and the types of stories she's using on these platforms that's changed. Therefore, she's now sharing stories and using language that actually resonates with her most aligned client. They're stories and it's language that her ideal client would also be using in daily life. So she's in awe of how much of an impact this shift, which is just the storytelling side, has had on her business. And that comes down to knowing who your ideal client is. Now, if you've never done an ideal client profile before, this is one of the key things I work on with clients, and it's what I'd highly encourage you to do. It's the one step that completely changed my business. Now, to get you started today, though, I want you to either look at an existing client who you would love 10 more of that client, and look at the demographics and the psychographics of that person. That becomes your ideal client, and every time you write something or create something, you're creating it for that specific person. You'll notice that the stories, the language, and what you create changes because you're being really specific to one person. Now, if you're sitting there thinking, okay, that's fine, but I don't have an existing client that I really, really love right now, or you don't have many clients who have come into your business, then the next step is that often we were our own ideal client 5 years ago. So about 90% of us, we got into business to solve a problem that we had previously. So if you've got a journal or even a diary of where you wrote about those frustrations and that pain that you were going through back then before you started your business, that right there, that's gold for you to be able to lift that word for word and actually use in your marketing. So if you were your ideal client, see if you can put yourself back in that situation if you don't have a journal. Unfortunately, I didn't. I didn't use a journal or a diary back when I was really frustrated with this whole online marketing stuff. I wish that I had because I think the language back then and the frustrations would have been much clearer and much easier for me to do my own marketing as well. Now, if you don't tick the first or the second one, there is a third option for you, and it's called the hypothetical client. Now, you can take all the traits that you do love about, maybe it's a bunch of existing clients. You like a little bit of this from this one, and you like something else from another client. Then you can bring all those together to make up an ideal client, or you can just paint a picture of the type of person that you really would love to attract to your business, because this is a great way to figure out who it is that you most want to serve. And the key is that it's not set in stone, so it will evolve over time. I have to admit that mine has. There are certain things I thought that I wanted in an ideal client, but when someone showed up with that trait, I realised I didn't actually want that type of person at all. So it will evolve. Don't feel that whatever you create now you're going to be stuck with. You'll find that that person, your ideal client, for me it's Lisa. Lisa has evolved over time. Now, the second part of this targeting is really the paid, what comes down to the paid traffic, but you can waste a lot of money targeting what we call cold traffic. Now, if you've never heard these terms before, cold, warm and hot traffic, Cold traffic are those people who don't really know who we are yet. And we often target these when we're talking about Facebook ads. We target them by, targeting our competitors' Facebook page, or even a bunch of interests we think that our ideal client might like. So that's one thing, or maybe it's even just a local area if you're a local business. So the warm traffic, these are people who have visited our website. Maybe they're also a Facebook fan. They may have watched our videos, or they may even be an email subscriber. So they're already at least had one touch with us, and as we say in marketing terms, so they are warmer. Now the last one, the hot traffic, they're the people who have bought from us. And when they're hot, that means that they buy everything that we put out there. And we all have, or we get to a point in our business where we have some clients who just buy everything that you put out there, which is always wonderful. So our goal obviously is to get as many of our hot traffic to become repeat clients as well. But now, depending on what you've answered in part 1 of today's workshop, when we were looking at the analytics, and depending on what your ideal client profile is that you create, will depend on what your strategy is here. But the key is to get as many of your ideal clients to turn from cold to warm, from not knowing who we are from a bar of soap to at least knowing who we are, and possibly knowing a little of what we're about because they've read a blog post, or they've watched a video, or they've checked out a cool status that we put up on Facebook. So when they become warm, this is our opportunity to turn that warm traffic, so the people who now know us, into email subscribers. And this is what a lot of business owners are missing with their Facebook ads. They're putting all their money into trying to get cold people to give them their email address. But asking someone for their email address, that's like asking someone for money. And we don't just give money to strangers, do we? You need someone to at least have some sort of connection with you first, or it will end up costing you a lot of money. So you need to turn the subscribers into clients, of course, so capturing a cold audience and turning them into a warm leads, and then inviting them to join our list, and of course eventually to work with us in the system I've been working on, that's the system that I've been working on this year with the online marketing mastermind participants that I have. But we could be running, for example, videos on our Facebook page. Facebook will then capture the details of anyone who watches your video and now knows you, so they're warm. And we can then create an ad that targets those warmed up people and says, would you now like my free gift in exchange for your email address? Now, growing your email list and inviting people to work with you is a great repeatable system. It may sound complex as I'm talking about it here, but it's actually quite simple to set up. It's a repeatable system, as I said, and it will build consistency into your business. And it doesn't have to be expensive. Facebook ads can be as cheap as you want them to be, depending on what results you want to get, of course. And it's especially effective layered with Facebook ads, which is still the most affordable option when it comes to advertising, despite the fact that it has increased in price in recent years. And one of my clients at the moment is having ridiculously good results from her Facebook ads, getting people to become subscribers. She's running video. She's getting people to become subscribers, which is costing her next to nothing to do. And of course, there's some other things that are happening as well that she's doing as part of her marketing. But it's a wonderful system she's created for herself that, is really growing her business and generating some masses of buzz at the moment. So most people are quite sporadic with their Facebook ads, I'm finding, and they're wondering why they're not getting results. And this is why, because you're targeting the wrong people. And what if you started today to build your warm audiences, just a few dollars a day? What would that do for you in 2018 to grow your email list, to grow your clients? So this picture gives you an example of what it might look like for you. This is as an example, the cold traffic, you might attract them by people watching a Facebook Live video, because Facebook Live at the moment is what Facebook is putting priority on. So you can get really good results from doing Facebook Live. And of course, it's free. You then invite those video viewers who are now warm to sign up to your email list and give them a free gift in exchange for that, or a free resource. And you then invite those email subscribers to invest with you and become hot traffic, and they might become a coaching client, or if you do a service, or if you've got a product or program. As I said, you can get really complex with the way that you run these ads, but at its most basic level, this is how you can be setting them up to increase the results you may be getting right now, or to start off on the right foot if you've not even dipped your toe into Facebook ads yet. So don't try and run an opt-in ad to cold traffic. Remember to warm people up first, and then put your offer in front of people who know you. So now we're moving on to the final part 3 of today's workshop. So we've looked at that first part with our analytics. We've now looked at the targeting to make sure we're targeting the right people. And the last part is really about the planning to shift from a scattered approach to consistent marketing and leads. Now, it's a bit of a sad reality of business, as I've mentioned today, that a lot of people use a scattergun approach in their marketing. Maybe you're unconsciously fallen into that trap too, where you know you need to have a plan to follow, but you never quite get there. And so you're constantly having to come up with things on the fly, and they're never quite, they're never quite what you were hoping to get across, or you miss big opportunities because you hadn't thought ahead. So if this is you, you're actually not alone. It's a big challenge that I see business owners face. And the reality is, when you have a plan, you become far more focused. The content you put out there has a greater impact on your business's bottom line, and it creates a heck of a lot more ease in your life, which is what we're all about. If you go back to my story I told at the beginning of really feeling like there was no light at the end of the tunnel and that things were really hard. Now, I like to work in 90-day increments purely because it allows me enough time to really test if something is working for me or not. And that circles back to what we talked about in the very beginning of today's workshop, tracking your analytics. So see how everything works together with this. Don't try a new thing for a week and determine it's not the right fit. You've got to work at something for a little longer than that. And that allows you then to say that in the next 90 days, so from January, February, March, you can, or it's actually going to be another month after that, but you know what I mean? You can either drop something if you've proven it's not the right fit for you, or you can increase your efforts in a particular area if something is working really well for you. Now, I can't go through an entire marketing plan with you here today, but I do want to reiterate what we've been through here today, what really ties everything together so that you do finish the year strong. So you're starting your 90-day plan right now today, and also position yourself for the best possible success, of course, for 2018. So who is your ideal client, and are you targeting the right people? Spend some time on this. I would highly encourage you to. It is, as I said, the best thing that I've done in my business and what's changed everything. Number 2 is where is that ideal client hanging out? This will allow you to see which platforms that you need to be investing your time in so you can show up in the right place and at the right time. So when I'm talking about Facebook ads, maybe your ideal client's on LinkedIn and you need to be investing in LinkedIn ads. Or maybe they're more Googlers and you need to be doing Google ads. Think really strategically here about where you should be investing your time and investing your money. And then the third one is, what is the project you need to focus on in the next 90 days to move you forward? And this can be a list building goal, or it can be a sales goal. Maybe you have a 2-tiered approach here, as we spoke about in part 2 of today's workshop, where you have an opt-in, that is part 1 of your things that you want to be focusing on, that then of course leads to a coaching program or an offer that you have. And then finally, what are the strategies and the tactical steps or the activities that you can be doing during those 90 days to get you there? What's moving the needle for you? Look at the big picture. I would suggest only 2 to 3 key strategies that you want to do. Don't try and burn yourself out with doing a Facebook ad campaign and a Instagram campaign and a video campaign and something else, and end up with too many strategies that you can't actually follow through on them. And break those into tactical things that can bring your strategy together. One of the mastermind ladies yesterday was talking about one of her strategies was to share in Facebook groups. And what I encouraged her to do was to actually write down which groups and on what days she's going to be sharing, because some of them have promotional things. And suddenly a massive weight lifted from her shoulders because she realised, okay, I don't have to be thinking about it all the time. It's written down. It's easy for me to follow. So if you can answer those questions, you're part way to having your plan created. Now in January, we'll be tailoring all this. I said there'll be some help. We'll be tailoring all this just for you in the 90-minute. It's called the Ready, Set, Start session. You have a plan and some clear steps to give you the best start for 2018. You'll know what you need to do in 2018 to reach your goals based on this session. Now, to gain access to that free Ready, Set, Start session, you need to keep listening. But when my business changed was when I actually got support and was surrounded by people who had my back. They kept me accountable to my goals. They ensured my goals were moving me forward, so I was not just spinning my wheels and, not going around in circles. And they were there when I wanted to celebrate or I felt that I needed support. They become my, really close friends as well. So when we're in business, it can be pretty lonely, and we can shift into procrastination because we get scared about which is the right path to take, and so we take no action at all. Or we get so focused on what our next thing to do is that we lose sight of how our business is growing in that bigger picture. How we can think more creatively to attract more people to our business. And we can miss the amazing opportunities that are often right in front of us because we're so close to what we're doing. And I'm not sure if you're the same, that sometimes you're so close to your business, you can't see what other people can see about your business, and they can tell you in 5 minutes a great idea or something really creative that you can be doing that you can't even see. So what I want to share with you today is all about lifting the fog and finding clarity, giving you clear strategies that are going to make a big impact on your business, and also keeping you accountable through the support of women who are at the same level of business as you are. Now, it's called the Online Marketing Mastermind, or TOM as we've started to call it. One of the things I've often not liked about group programs is that you end up becoming another number in the program and you just get lost. So with this, it's 2 to 4 other women in the group with you. There'll always be time for you and what you're working on. And through the mastermind, you'll gain accountability to keep you on track. Now, here are 2 examples of women who told powerful stories and used the systems that we've spoken about today, getting really clear on their ideal client, looking at that targeting and studying their analytics, and then, of course, planning and making the plan and working that plan as well. So Sally and Justine are from Nutrition from Weight Loss Surgery. They created a 4 times bigger email list in just a couple of months through using this. We ended up having their book #1 on Amazon within the space of a day, which was amazing. And all of that then trickled down to clients banging down their weight loss surgery membership virtual door for entry, which of course resulted in an increase in automated monthly income for their business. So that was a huge win, and it was a great project to work on, and just to see the results they were able to do by doing the most simplest things and being strategic, but also having those systems in place. Another one is my dear friend Angela from Your Next Chapter, who through creating systems, we were able, and obviously really knowing who her ideal client is, who is someone who is transitioning into the next stage of their life and starting a business. She was able to triple enrollments in her flagship group mentorship program, which increased her email list by 20% through the power of storytelling and building a client pathway that featured an opt-in that was highly sought after by her ideal clients, and that system really worked well for her. So one thing she always says to me is that when life feels chaotic, I have a sense of, I bring some calm, and I think it's important when you're in the middle or in the midst of launching something, because that calm often shifts our results, because we don't dip into push-based selling, which I see a lot of people are shifting into right now with the end of year approaching. Seems to be some heavy energy in some campaigns that I've seen at the moment. It's really about pulling it back and coming back to stories, systems, and strategy as well, so that you are really clear on what you're doing and you're not just pushing and, of course, throwing those darts. So let me ask you a question. If you followed what I've shown you here today, building that strong 90-day plan that provides instant results as well as long-term results as well, and you developed a soulful client pathway that's going to attract and nurture and convert your most aligned clients, do you think that could be successful for you? Do you feel like you're running your business at the moment, maybe without a holistic strategy. You're not really sure on the stories that you need to share. Maybe you're struggling to find the right words in your copy, which is one thing. A lot of my clients, when they come to me, that's one of their big challenges. And the other one is that maybe you don't know how to set up the systems. That tech side can really overwhelm people. If it's okay with you, I'd love to share how Tom, as we're calling it, the Online Marketing Mastermind, can help you implement this in your business. So it's not just about building your audience, growing your email list and increasing sales, although results are a big part of it, but it's also about that connection with like-minded female entrepreneurs, because it is lonely out there if you're a solopreneur, and having other people's minds on your business is incredibly powerful. Accountability to keep you on purpose throughout the year. So often we can get distracted by the bright, shiny objects, which used to be an issue for me, I'll admit. And then the last one is building a conscious business. So it's not just about money, but also about doing what most lights you up. And as I said, it's about ensuring you're, I guess, running a heart-centered business, something that you're truly passionate about. So here's what you get inside of the mastermind, which starts on February 15. So you get 20 intimate mastermind experiences for support and accountability to improve yourself and your online marketing to get bigger results in your business. Now, being part of a mastermind, as I said, is where my entire business changed, because I had that collective mind zeroing in on what I was doing. And often others see what you can't see, as I said, because you're so close to it. And we'll be taking a holistic approach to your business. We'll be zeroing in on those traffic strategies that are best suited to your business, creating your marketing plan so you can create consistency, and even we'll look at your content plans as well, and we'll be keeping you accountable to those, and then setting up and reviewing your soulful client pathway or your soulful sales funnel and your paid offers. We dive really deep into your paid product development, so that what you're putting out there is the right offer. So by the end of this 9 months, we'll aim to have your business producing the kind of leads you've always wanted. So this is really for women who have been in service-based or coaching businesses for about 3 to 5 years, and you're ready to step up to that next level. Now, it's valued at $4,500, but just stay tuned though. So you also get 2 strategy sessions to define your goals and deep dive on your metrics as well. So you'll get one midway through to check in and realign if needed. And finally, at the end of it, you'll look at the metrics and set goals for the next 90 days after that. You'll also have exclusive business mastery classes on marketing topics that will accelerate your business, like Facebook ads and strategic blogging. Now, I've also invited in an expert on branding who's going to help you put your best foot forward visually. She is amazing at what she does. And another expert on soulful selling who has some genius strategies to increase the number of yeses you get when you have those discovery calls with clients. Now, her wholehearted conversation approach is worth knowing. It's exactly what I use when I do discovery calls because it works so well. So those 2 mastery classes, plus of course I'll be doing a few on different topics as well. As I said, Facebook ads, blogging. There's a few other ones that will be coming up through the year that I know that you'll love. The next thing you're going to get is invitations to Get It Done days to accomplish some long overdue tasks for some big change. So far this year in the Online Marketing Mastermind, we've done a sales funnel, Get It Done day. We've done a product development. So we actually developed our coaching packages and our products and programs, and also storytelling. But there'll be more in 2018 as well. But these are those things that you have on your to-do list and they never quite leave your to-do list because they feel too overwhelming to tackle. We get them done in a day. And I really love the Get It Done days because they provide a huge sense of achievement. You get access to my client pathway library, which I know a lot of people talk about out there if you've been on Facebook and heard it mentioned a few times, but it is like Netflix for marketing, I guess is a way to describe it. So it has every product and tutorial I've created to keep you moving your marketing forward between calls, and you get instant access to this when you join the mastermind. So if you join, for example, today, you will have that you'll be able to use that between now and even starting in February 15 when the mastermind starts. So this is a great resource. There's so much stuff in here. As you can see, it's valued at $3,000. So it's one of the things I really love, because it means that between calls, you're still able to go and dive in and actually move your business forward. And the last thing is access to private software tools. So you're not held back by not having access to the technology. So if you want to build a quiz, I actually have a quiz builder that you can use and try. Or if you're not sure if you want to invest in a particular tool, there's an opportunity with some of the programs that I have where you can dive in and have a play with something to see whether it's going to be the right fit for you. And some of the ones I have developer level access to software tools, which means as a client you can use that tool as well. Now there are 2 bonuses. The first one you've already heard about, which is the 90-minute Ready, Set, Start session, which is a one-on-one session I spoke about earlier to help define your ideal client and set your strategy and your goals. Now this can happen for you in December or January, whenever suits you to start, but it will happen before we start the Online Marketing Mastermind on February 15. So that's the first one. And the next one is, actually I haven't got a slide for that one, so I just had to tell you. It's an optional retreat that's going to be happening in Shell Harbour in New South Wales, which is south of Sydney. And I'll share more details about that when we chat during, if you're interested, when we chat on the call. But this is a really wonderful way to really connect with your fellow masterminders and really get into achieving a lot in your business in a short space of time. Being able to be in a space and not be distracted is a great opportunity for you and your business too. That is an optional one, and as I said, I can provide more details when we have a chat. But are you ready to move into an authentic and soulful business? This experience, it runs for 9 months, and due to the importance for me to having a high touch on your business, so you're not going to become, and you never will become, a number in a program. Each group will only be 4 people maximum. So the value of the mastermind, as you can see on the screen, is $11,897 when you package all that together. And I just realised I haven't even packaged the bonuses in that price either, so it would be much higher than that. But while many masterminds out there, you know, they're reaching about $20,000 for a year now. I think the last mastermind, I invested in was $12,000. But today I'm not going to charge 20, and I'm not going to charge 12, and of course I'm not going to charge 11,897, even though of course that's how much it's worth. Today it's $4,000 or 9 payments of $500. My goal is to really make this achievable. If you're a few years into your business now and you're ready to up level and really invest in yourself and using those storytelling, the strategy and the systems. Now, if you're interested in joining us, or you just want to chat and find out whether it is the right fit for you, then you can go to bit.ly/OM Mastermind. It's a capital O and a capital M, so it is case sensitive. I have a feeling I may have the wrong link here, so if that doesn't work, please let me know. I might even just double check it myself now so that I haven't given you the wrong link. But select the button once you get on that page. If you go to my website, you'll see this page anyway. I'm just going to double check that I have got the link right, because I think it might be mentorship, not mastermind, but we'll try how that goes. So select the button and fill in the form that pops up on the screen and hit submit. That link does work, so I have put the right one in, thank goodness. And wait for the calendar. A calendar will pop up, and you'll be able to book a time for us to have a chat. And of course, there's no pressure during that chat. It's just a chat to see whether or not this is the right fit for you. So if you want to create a holistic approach to your online marketing, your social media to attract more aligned clients consistently, if you want to use some storytelling effectively so you can sell more soulfully, if you're seeing more, storytelling is such a big part of marketing right now, and works so effectively, I'd love to help you with that. And of course, attract nurture, and convert your most aligned clients using evergreen systems to give you back more time to do what lights you up, so you don't feel like, as I did, where there was no light at the end of the tunnel. So head on over to that link, which is should be mastermind, not mentorship. So sorry for that. I knew that was going to happen at some point. I knew there was a slide there. But just a reminder that it's $4,000 for the 9 months, or 9 payments of $500. That is plus GST for Australian residents as well. But you can step into a better way to build your soulful brand, where you feel supported, where you feel nurtured and fully accountable. So don't try and spend another year on your own battling tech challenges or mindset issues and marketing failures as well. Now, the package, this packages your knowledge, it packages implementation, and also a deep level of support as you build a soulful system that repeatedly nurtures, provides value, and builds rapport with your most aligned clients, so you can effortlessly build your business while spending more time on the areas of your life that truly light you up. Now, this is a chance for one-on-one attention on your business to refine your strategy and put it into action, while also benefiting from regular group mastermind experiences with, of course, like-minded women who's, once you get those collective ideas and that support and that accountability, it really does lift you to a whole other level. I think both professionally, like in your business, but also personally as well. So if you want to ensure you're using the right marketing strategies for your business, you're doing it consistently without overwhelm, and you're attracting the most aligned people to nurture and then convert, then I invite you to join me in the online marketing mastermind, which is bit.ly/O mastermind. Some people have missed out on previous intakes, so if you still feel undecided, I really encourage you to at least have a chat with me. The current intake has achieved some incredible results. Like they really support each other, and I actually find it quite humbling to see how much they really care for each other's well-being. And we've celebrated some great moments during the current experience. So there's a great bond there now that I know will continue between those women. So if you love this in your life and your business too, I'd love for you to join us. As I said, I'm going to open up for questions now to see if there's anything that you want answered. There are some usual questions that come through while I'm checking that. One of the questions I have had previously that I'll answer while I'm figuring out where the chat bit is. There we go, chat. One of the questions that does often get asked is, where do the participants come from? So one of the things that I've found, so with the current intake, they're from different areas in Australia, and one of the beauties of that is the ability to be able to share openly. And sometimes, just to give you an example, one of the current members found out, that our mastermind private Facebook group, which is also another part of what you get with the mastermind, was the only place where she could share a huge win, because it was too sensitive for her to share any other public groups that she was in. So if, of course, you're from another country, we'll ensure you're matched with other mastermind ladies who are in a similar time zone, to ensure you're not having to get up for calls at 6 o'clock or staying up till 11 o'clock at night or whatever it is. We'll make sure that you're teamed with someone who's in a similar time zone. But the current intake, yes, all three are from, three in the current one are all from Australia, and completely different areas in Australia as well. Now, it doesn't look like there's any questions coming through. I'm just going to see if there's another question that I know often gets asked. The other thing, as far as the mastermind calls, if you're wondering how they happen, they're all online. They're actually using Zoom. So what you're on right now, but we have the ability to see each other's face during those, which is a nice way to build that connection as well, and you get to know each other really well. So that's the other thing that we do. We use this Zoom, so you can just come in, and that happens once a fortnight or twice a month. we come in and have our mastermind where you get to share what it is that's happening in your business so that we can help you move forward. And same with those Get It Done days and the mastery calls, they all happen here on Zoom as well. So that you don't need any complex systems or anything or tools to be able to make this happen for you. But that's it for today. It doesn't look like there's any questions, which is great. That means I feel like I've covered things, which is good. But thank you so much for joining me. I hope you gain some more inspiration for your business and seeing how you can systemize your business a little bit more and be really strategic. So if you're joining us in February, I really look forward to working with you intimately on your soulful sales funnel. And if you've got questions, please feel free to email those through as well. But I hope you have a great rest of the day. I'm off now to finish moving house, which is what I'm doing. But please feel free to email if you have questions. Thanks again so much for joining.